So earlier today, Aster released the official airdrop details for stage 2. We're gonna deep dive into that in today's video, talk about everything that you need to know, talk about the more recent FUD. There's more FUD. When there's good things, there's always some kind of FUD that always follows suit. We're gonna talk about the FUD that has happened, why Aster is down today, and then also talk about what does stage 3 look like. What should you know about stage 3? How is it going to impact? What opportunities exist? All that and more in today's video. If you're new here, my name is Alex. We talk about crypto news, crypto passive income. If you enjoy content like that, consider subscribing. If you enjoyed this video, smash up a like. Without further ado, let's end the video. So first, let's talk about the major announcement by Aster. Countdown begins at Genesis Stage 2, ends at midnight UTC on October 5th. Now, Stage 3, which is called Aster Dawn, launches right after, bringing smarter boosts and fairer rules. No breaks, just progress. And then some of the details below for that, which, as we kind of get into this, because the other detail that was dropped is the claims for the tokens, right? So Genesis Stage 2 reward claim information. The airdrop checker opens October 10th. That is 5 days from now. And then token claims start will happen 4 days after. Now, the best part, Stage 2 rewards come with no locking period, giving you full flexibility to claim and use your rewards at any time. So this is a big issue for a lot of people. The first part of this is because with a 4% token unlock, the perception is there's going to be a massive selling of Aster. That is why we saw, and why I posted earlier, what the heck, with Aster dropping from $2 all the way down to $175 and then it's bounced back up. The fear of a massive sell-off has some validity to it. But you have to think about, this is 4%. This is very minuscule amount. And that is to assume everyone in that 4% is going to sell, right? So that is the big misconception. So that to me is highly unlikely because you have stage 3 directly after it. And stage 3 incentivizes spot trading. So what do you think most people are probably going to do? Most people are probably going to take the Aster that they were airdropped and use that towards stage 3. Maybe they sell a little bit for some profits. Maybe they move it into other ecosystems to farm them because there's plenty of farming opportunities. But it is stupid to think that everyone who is getting the airdrop is going to sell. That is just non-logical. So the immediate release and the freedom of that, I think, is a huge plus because there's going to be 2 reactions by the community. If you say there's going to be an unlock over the next 6 months, people are going to complain. If you say there's going to be an unlock over the next 4 weeks, people are going to complain. If you say there's going to be an unlock the day after, people are going to complain. No one is ever going to be happy regardless of the decision that gets made. But I think this is a very fair decision considering the fact that it is in line with what they're trying to do with the platform. It only makes sense. Now, this kind of goes into the second part. No pause, go straight into stage 3 after stage 2 is ended. What is new in stage 3? Spot trading rewards, multi-dimensional scoring updates, symbol-specific boost multipliers, so trading specific symbols, and then enhanced team boost mechanics. So being on a team is still very important. If you need a referral code, it'll be down below. So these upgrades will aim to promote fair competition, recognize quality trading, reward real traders. Huge aspect of all this, and one of the things that most people are very frustrated about is people who are trading and wash trading, more specifically wash trading, for the last week and a half with tons of volume, gaining a ton of points, thinking they're going to make insane amount of money over the last week. Well, congratulations, everybody else was doing the same thing. So because you were in it's not the airdrop going to all 4 weeks combined. We're going to look at this in a second. Those 4 epochs are split differently. 1% of the tokens are split between the epochs. Just because you came in late to the game with your 7 figures and you did 15 million points or 100 million RH points in the last week, well, congratulations. Now there's 1.7 trillion other points out there that you're competing against. You're not competing against the other first 3 epochs. That is how it is being structured, and that is the most fair structure when it comes to this airdrop. And for anyone saying otherwise is one of those people that came in late to the game and want to have the ability. And I'm not saying that I came in early to the game. I came in just in Epoch 2. I could have maybe gotten into Epoch 1. That was the most rewarding Epoch. I acknowledged that on my post. In my video, I missed out on the first Epoch. That was the most rewarding Epoch. But I did well in Epoch 2, and I did well in Epoch 3, and then have done well in Epoch 4. So, it is what it is. Congratulations to everyone who got into Epoch 1. But if you're late, don't cry about it. So, Stage 3, more advanced balanced scoring system. Multidimensional scoring, no longer just for top traders. RH points can be earned through multidimensional real activity, trade volume, holding duration, Aster assets. Talked about that before. Realized P&L. A lot more details. And then ways to be able to maximize those points as well. And enhanced team boosts. And then they will have a referral adjustment. So, basic overall details, right? And obviously a lot of people pretty upset as far as, you can go through a lot of these comments and, everyone's going to have their little opinion for that. And obviously the biggest one here, as far as unlocking all these tokens at once, you're not worried about the price tanking. Can Aster handle $600 million dumping just like that? Already down 10%, right? You're going to have people upset on either sides of the aisle. This was an interesting post by someone who put this together. And I would say it's interesting, but this fear also combined with the fact that DeFi Llama actually removed Aster DEX from its perps trading page is what's caused a lot of the drama for Aster today while you're looking at the token price and it's down a little bit today. So, there's always some kind of FUD. There's always some kind of way to be able to drive it down. And in instances like this, if you're looking to trade based off of news or data, these are great ways to be able to swing trade, whether you're shorting or going long on the likes of Aster, right? If you're seeing something like this get removed, obviously a lot of people are going to create a lot of drama about it. It's going to be more negative FUD. It's going to cause the price to go down. So if you got in a short position the moment you saw something like this get changed, you would probably make a little bit of money on the platform. Not to mention, you would also get some more points, RH points, for making profitable trades. So either way, there's plenty of opportunities out there, but I want to highlight this, and then we're going to look at the potential calculator. I think this calculator is somewhat flawed, but we're going to look at it nonetheless. So in the last 8 hours, airdrops announced full unlock, 4% distributed equally amongst 4 epochs. Previously miscommunicated by the whole team to be a variable. So, like I said, this is what I expected. I talked about this. You look at my video, this video where I was talking about turning $300 into 6 figures with crypto airdrops. I literally talked about this in this video. I'm not going to go through all this, but I said the assumption is the value of the airdrop is $600 million, $150 million per week. Each week is 25% of the airdrop. That only makes sense. And so for people complaining about that, maybe it was miscommunicated. The decision that was made only makes sense moving forward. So Epoch farmers will make over $30,000 per 1 million points. Epoch 4 witnessed a large sum of wash trading to inflate airdrop value, coming in at about $100 per 1 million points. So, for a lot of people who did a bunch of wash trading, sorry, it is what it is. DeFi Llama detected anomalies and removed Aster from Perps Tracker. Aster Discord's a mess. Moz not responding. Buyback announced. So there are some bullish things. The buyback was announced. That's great. But there's a lot of uncertainty. And as the FUD stands for, a lot of people use FUD and don't even know what it stands for. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And in one way or another, all those aspects are currently applied to Aster in the last 24 hours. It is just where we are in the moment. But you have to think about this long term, right? If you're thinking about Aster long term, if you're looking beyond the horizon, right? If you think about, you look at Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid had its own fair share of issues very early on. Its platform was manipulated by certain tokens to, you can look back in the history, I forgot what token it was, but there was very much a manipulation tactic that ended up making a lot of people, because of the low liquidity, made a lot of people lose a lot of money. And Hyperliquid had to go through that. They had to go through the gripes of growing as a business, and look at where they are today, right? Aster as a token is still really, really new. If you give Aster the same amount of time, you look at Hyperliquid today, Hyperliquid's token launched, what, like November of last year? That's a whole year. Right now, Aster's token's not been out a whole month. So give it some room, give it some time to breathe, give it some time to grow. And you're gonna look at this when Aster's at $4, $5, $6, whatever it is at in the future, and you're gonna see this is a little bump in the road. So either way, I think there's plenty of opportunity short term to be able to take advantage of the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and then long term to be also take advantage of it as well. Now, this individual called Swishy.eth created a calculator that allows you to kind of calculate what the total points could be worth, what the value of those could be based off of the price. So I just don't know about this calculator personally. I think it's interesting to say the least. I wouldn't bet my life on it. This is if I got 3.5 million RH points. It says my airdrop, and mind you, this has been changing consistently. At one point it showed $700, now it's showing $840. But it's saying at this current price, at $1.80, my airdrop would be worth around $824, which I think is interesting because I think it's also pretty false. So if you think about prior epochs, and I did the numbers for my prior epochs, the numbers are very, very different. Because if I look at this and I look at where I was then, right now I'm sitting, this is a little bit outdated, but I'm sitting at about 3.5 million points. If I'm doing the second epoch as about 9,000 points, right? If I'm gonna just do this calculation very, very briefly, second epoch was 246,000. And then this last one, we're sitting at about 3.5. So based off of this expert calculator, the expected airdrop is going to be about $455. I still think this is very, very off. And I don't know exactly what specifically is off about this, but what's interesting is the share. This is what part is confusing the most to me right now, is if this is my percentage of the share of the total RH points, then that should relatively be equal to the share of the total of the airdrop. At least that would be the mindset. That would be the assumption, right? The bigger question is what is the value per RH point compared to the amount of tokens being dropped, right? If it is, we know how many tokens are being airdropped, right? We know 80 million Aster per epoch. So, in that instance, if my share of 80 million Aster times, if my share, mind you, this is a hypothetical, as we're rolling through this calculator, has what, 4 zeros times 1? 4 zeros, 7759, that would be 6,200 Aster, right? So that is a hypothetical. If my share is that, now this is obviously based off of the RH points. So if the RH points are also equally associated to so many RH points is 1 Aster, why would there be the confusion would be past where that math would be different between the share being the Aster token versus being the RH points, and where that math all maths. That is kind of the unknown. So could it be the fact that, yes, could it be $6,200 or could it be 6,200 Aster? Could be. Or it could be, in this instance, like $113, right? That is kind of the unknown, because that is very, very big difference. So that is really what is most puzzling to me, is to, the percentage of the share of the points being different compared to the percentage of the share of the airdrop. Just something doesn't add up there. Either way, I think it's interesting. Obviously, everyone's freaking out about tokenomics. The tokenomics aren't changing. This is still going to be the future. There's still 53% of the airdrop associated, or tokens percent. 53% of the tokens are still associated with the future of the airdrop. You're still going to have only 8% of that was already allocated. So now you're sitting at 12%. There's still 41% of the tokens allocated to airdrops. 41 freaking percent. That is a huge amount of tokens still available for airdrops. Mind you, there's also unclaimed Aster tokens will be redirected back to community airdrop and community rewards. So who's to say that all 8.8% of the original airdrop tokens were all claimed? There's probably a good likelihood a portion of those weren't claimed, and they're going to be added to future claims. So something to also consider. So let me know your thoughts. Do you think the calculator is accurate? Do you think there's something messed up with the math with Aster? Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this video, smash up the like. You enjoy content like this, consider subscribing. And until next time, guys, stay invested.